So Victoria, tell me, how do you feel your science is changing? What's new?
I think what's exciting and what's changing in our field of environmental science is that the methods we're using is starting to change. So traditionally I've worked with process-based models, computer-based and numerical representations of our environment, but now we're moving to a period where we've got lots and lots of data and we can really capitalise on that to further our scientific understanding. You know, we can explore that data, use it to try and find new scientific understanding, exploring unknowns where process-based models maybe fall down and where we notice there's something that's not represented right, doesn't match up with what we expect. We can use that wealth of data to really dig in, to have a look at what might be going on. So that I think there's lots of opportunities for blending sort of data-based approaches as well with these process-based models. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, well, I think there's lots of new data coming onto the scene, but with data, it's important to check it's representative of the place we're trying to represent, and often models operate at different timescales to the data we're collecting. So we might take an observation of a tree, but we're modelling at the scale of a forest. So how can we draw links between these two scales? What kind of new methods do you think are coming out there that we can use?
So I'm going to backtrack a bit actually in terms of what you were saying about what kind of data that's we can use and the issues associated with the data. But thinking actually that one of the issues is actually being able to find all the data or the most relevant data. And so to answer those questions, I think the first thing you need to do is be able to find the right data. And I think there's still issues associated with that, making sure that the data is deposited somewhere that's open and accessible, has the right metadata so it's findable. I think that's one issue.
No, I agree, and obviously quality control of the data, check there's no missing data, check it is what it says it is, really. And I guess once we've got the data, we can then start building these new data models you mentioned. And I guess there's lots of new exciting techniques, and a lot of pre-existing techniques that just haven't been applied yet. For example, machine learning techniques based on statistics. There's lots of new software that can easily implement these, so we can apply these to our data. Just wondering if you've used any of these so far.
Yeah, I think machine learning presents a great opportunity, and some of the positives are there's some great packages out there you can plug into programming languages like R and kind of use these off-the-shelf packages, plug in your data and come up with a model. The downside of them, or some of the negative aspects of them, I'd say, is they can be in a bit of a black box nature, in that it maybe doesn't tell us any more about underlying processes. I think there's sometimes risks in just taking these off-the-shelf packages. Are we applying them correctly to the data? And I think there's more work to be done in looking at which methods are most suitable for which questions. But I think equally there's, in terms of, we're going back to the original question of how our science is changing, hand in hand with this is sort of moving to more of a cloud-based working. So where we can collaborate amongst disciplines, so we can have statisticians and data scientists working with environmental scientists with these big data sets. So it gives us more of an opportunity to apply these methods effectively and in the right way.
Yes, no, that sounds really promising and a nice way to move forward. And
have you experienced working in cloud computing and any of the benefits of that?
We've tested cloud computing. I guess it's still in its infancy, really, but it's really, things are coming aboard and starting to accelerate. It's being made more, I guess, friendly for environmental science, less clunky, so that we really can not have to rely kind of on our laptops to do the processing. We can scale up, look at bigger data sets, more complicated models, run the models more times, look at uncertainty within the models.
What do you think are some of the barriers that remain, though, in fully utilising cloud computing for its full potential in environmental science?
I think ease of use, in a sense. I can't speak for all cloud platforms, but some are more straightforward than others. I guess adopting it, really. People have, the familiar ways of working. I'm much the same. I have my method of writing my code, where I store it, how I run it. But just, I guess, coming out of my little bubble and just trying new ways, see if they improve things. You had any thoughts about
No,
this?
I think you're right. I think it's getting sort of the community to adopt these new methods, and going back to the data science approaches we were talking about, and getting, people like me, like the process-based, computer-based modelers, to mix with mixed methods with data science, and how we integrate these.
Great. Thank you, Victoria. It's been fascinating discussing this with you.